welcome to the show and this very beautiful discussion. We're happy you made it. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay, my name is Bola Joshua. I'm Chief Operating Officer of a financial services holding company.
Napon Musa, and I'm the sales leader for Africa for a global technology company.
I'm Busia Yolayade. I'm Chief Operating Officer for a Big Four audit firm.
And I'm Deborah David. I'm the CFO of a maritime company in Nigeria. We have seen many people complain about having some restrictions and not being able to ascend to sea level. And we here on this table, we have sat comfortably in that role for quite a while. What kind of mistakes have you seen people make?
I think first mistake is, people have to transition from being individually very good to managing teams. At a particular level, leadership level, it doesn't matter how smart you are. Everybody's smart at that level. You're basically responsible for managing a team to deliver.
I see. Napa, do you have anything to add to that, especially from a female perspective?
As much as I know that it's challenging for women to move up, we do look at the non-essentials as opposed to building that leadership muscle that you demonstrate when you go into situations with senior leaders. So one thing I do whenever I take on a new role is being able to not only understand the industry, but the competition. And when you're in the room with the CEO, once you provide that insight, you are seen as a leader.
Wow, that's amazing. So Busayo, you have something to add to this discourse?
When you're projecting yourself as wanting to go into the next room or into the next level, then you need to let the people there see that you are ready, in quotes, worthy to sit at the table. So you have to start projecting yourself. Obviously, bringing in evidence that you also know the market and every other thing you say. So people need to prepare.
There's something called mentoring, and there's another thing called being strategically visible to those who are the decision makers in the industry. How do we play it safe, or how do you advise people coming into that role such that they are not perceived as being patronizing or trying to play eye service?
One, you need to know your work. All right, because your work will speak for you. So if your work is bad, any other thing you do is patronizing. That means you really don't belong there. And there's nothing wrong with you walking up to the CEO once in a while or to any of the people in the boardroom and saying, hey, I have this idea, or we have tried this thing, and guess what, it worked in my team. And then you show them the numbers. Oh, remember, we brought in sales of $10 million. But when we implemented this thing, after a lot of risk management, risk analysis, we got $11 million or 10.5. Once they see that, you start being visible.
Wow.
And then you're not patronizing because your numbers are speaking for you.
So as you're trying to prepare for the next level and you want people to acknowledge your work and speak of your work, like you've said, you need people that are in the room when you're not there. And that's a sponsor, really not a mentor. So being able to identify someone that is a female leader or a male leader that sees you as a rising talent, that can be in the boardroom, and when your name should be mentioned, the person mentions your name, and the person is aware of the work you've done. So one of the things I say is if you're moving to the next level, you have to have a power diagram of the people that you need to know, and you put them in their appropriate place. So if you've identified sponsors, see whether they're in your circle or outside. How can you bring the person that's out into your circle and actively work on that?
I have one English to add to my dictionary now, power diagram. All right, well now you want to sponsor someone. What kind of characteristics or features would you be looking for?
Sponsors are looking for people who are much smarter than them, are risk takers, can add value to the organization, and have a global view of things. So it's not only how things work in your organization that matters. I'm looking for someone who understands how that industry is evolving and who can look at the industry and take strategic decisions on how are we going to outmaneuver or outperform in this industry. So I'm not looking for someone who's so inwardly focused and is just interested in being better than the next man in the industry.
If you're a C-level person listening to us, they want to find out, okay, now that I'm a C-level, what next? What is the next conversations? How do people build legacies? How do they do things that are sustainable, that beyond their office, people remember them for something tangible?
For me, legacy is you've met something in a particular way, you've left it much better off. But most importantly, in leaving it better off, if those who succeed you, if your successors don't do better than you, for me, that's poor legacy.
For me, legacy is what you build on a daily basis. It's not a bus stop, it's a journey. And like Napa and everyone has said, legacy is measured by your degree of interaction and how you're perceived in how you conduct your business and how you do what you do. So on those notes, I'd like to thank you all for being so generous with your thoughts and sharing lavishly to enrich this conversation. I'm sure that by the time we have another episode of this discussion, we will call on you once more. Thank you.